as we head to the tee at the 10th.
Okay, we're good.
Yu Sung Ho will be first to go. The 21-year-old senior from the University of Arizona. Steve Burkowski, Paige McKenzie with you, and a pressure-packed week has now really formulated itself, Paige, to a very pressure-packed next 30 minutes or so.
Yeah, and it becomes a group match play situation. Each player knowing what the other is doing. Target here is just up the left side of the fairway.
Yu Sung played in this tournament in 2019, missed the cut. Her 2 rounds at Champions Retreat this week, a bogey and a par at the 10th. Now next up, the teenager, Amari Avery, just 17 years of age.
Certainly a confident swing for this young player.
Quickly down after the tee. Wonderful tee shot. She parred this hole the first 2 days. Next to go, Maya Stark, the 21-year-old sophomore, plays collegiately at Oklahoma State, one of the 4 players from Sweden in the field this week.
Yeah, you notice the quick tempo. Everything she does around the ball, she's got this nice quick tempo.
2 bogeys the first 2 rounds on the 10th for Stark.
Yeah, first things first, hit it in the fairway.
Anxious look, and for a good reason.
Yeah, not overly long rough, but certainly it affects how the ball responds on that approach shot.
4th player to go here in this 5-person playoff. Lauren Hartledge, the senior from Louisville, 23 years of age, also played in the inaugural event in 2019. She missed the cut. Round 1, she birdied the 10th earlier in the day, made a par, so good vibes as she tees off here.
She also birdied her last hole in regulation to get into this playoff, which provides her a little more momentum.
That too, just off the fairway, right-hand rough. 5th member of this playoff. They'll go off in a 5-some. Kate Smith, the story of the over 11 holes when play was suspended on Wednesday afternoon. Ultimately finished earlier this morning, even par 72. Struggled for much of the day on Thursday, and then a 3-putt on the 17th hole is why she is now in this playoff. Gonna have to pick her chin up a little bit. I know she's probably I'm sure she's
disappointed with her day, but at least she's in this position where she can earn her spot just about putting behind the previous round.
So all 5 off in this playoff on a crisp, cool spring evening here in Augusta, Georgia at Champions Retreat. Again, 5 players competing for that final spot in Saturday's final round at Augusta National Golf Club. And it is sudden death. Playoff will start on the 10th, and if necessary, on to 11, 17, and 18. And it's been a challenging 2 days as we take a look at the leaderboards. The players that have moved on, just 2 under par through 36 holes, and barely at that at just 1 under.
Yeah, the golf course played extremely difficult the last 2 days, and we knew it was going to be a difficult test for these players, but because of the wind conditions, because of the weather delay yesterday, the long day today, certainly the score's reflecting in that. But Steve, the one good thing is it really has separated the best players from the rest of the players, and we're going to get the best 30. Once this playoff is done, we're going to get the best 30 to move on to Augusta National Golf Club on Saturday.
We saw that in 2019.
Absolutely.
The cream rose to the top when it mattered on a very challenging laid out here at Champions Retreat. And then we see those that are on the outside looking in, like Wake Forest, Rachel Keene. And it just speaks to the volume of talent in women's amateur golf. The 82 players that began the week. Again, they're all going to get a practice round at Augusta National tomorrow, but you'll see some quality players that just simply didn't have their best stuff the last 2 days.
No, and it was exposed. And I think for these players, you have to enjoy the experience that they've had here. And I know that every competitor talked about leading into this, how excited they were to be here. When they got here, the highlights of the chairman's dinner, of enjoying this experience. And then, of course, tomorrow with that practice round and actually teeing it up at Augusta National will be an experience of a lifetime for the rest of these players. Even if they're not competing on Saturday, it's been a heck of a week for them too.
Such an amazing standard was set in 2019 with the inaugural event and how it played out on that final day with Jennifer Kupcho and Maria Fassi. And with the pandemic canceling last year's event, so many people excited to be back here in 2021 for the second installment of this tournament that has certainly taken women's amateur golf to another level. Again, if you're just joining us, a 5-for-1 playoff for the final spot here at Champions Retreat. That one person will get a tee time at Augusta National on Saturday. Steve Burkowski, Paige McKenzie with you. Kay Cockerell down on the golf course for us, and we'll be setting up the scene for the second shots here at 10.
And Yu-Sung Ho will be first. As a matter of fact, Ho and Hartledge and Kate Smith are all about a yard apart. 140 yards for this second shot downhill, with the hole located towards the front part of the green.
One of the things players will know, of course, having played earlier today, the amount of rain and moisture that we received on the ground. The ball is not releasing. Even though it's only 8 paces on the front of the green, you must carry it. You'll get one good bounce, but the ball should check, especially from this distance. And you can see sitting right there, it looks green light for these players in the middle of the fairway.
A little bit of wind picking up, helping. And she's hitting it off a slight downhill lie. Has a pretty good line. Oh, goodness.
I was going to say that was a good line. 6 inches from dunking it.
Almost landed in the hole on a fly. That's how great of a golf shot that was. Yu-Sung Ho hit the opening tee shot here in the 10th and may be able to put a little bit of pressure on those up next.
She certainly set the tone with what's going to be expected. With only one player advancing, likely it's going to take a birdie if you want to get out on this first hole.
And Kate Smith basically a pace away from where Yu-Sung just hit from. She hits her irons much higher, coming in with a little cut.
Maybe a little adrenaline too. Knowing what's on the line, just a little past the hole.
And she was in that last group off. It was a quick turnaround of maybe dealing with the frustration of the 3-putt at 17, sign your scorecard, while others have been waiting around for some time.
Including Lauren Hartledge, who finished quite some time ago. It was an anxious wait, Kay, to find out who was going to end up in the playoff or if there was going to be a playoff.
No doubt, and it's a tough position to be in because you don't want to wish ill on your fellow competitors, but you sure want to have a chance to compete at Augusta on Saturday. Just a pace ahead from where the other two hit, but this out of the right rough. Pulled it a bit.
And it's just so soft in front of the green. Some of the low areas on the golf course still remaining relatively damp from all of the rainfall.
Maya Stark up next, Kay.
Hit this from 135 yards. Ball sitting decently in the right rough. Also has a downhill lie to contend with.
She's got enough swing speed. She'll still be able to get quite a bit of spin, even out of this light rough.
Yeah, that was no more than a 9 iron. A good call, Paige. Sat down pretty well out of that rough.
She'll get a little teach on her line as well. It looks like Catherine Smith is got a similar line that she'll be able to show her.
4 have played, 1 remain here at the opening playoff hole, the par 4 10th.
Well, Amari Avery absolutely pounded that drive. Long and straight. She was a good almost 30 yards ahead from the from Ho and Hartledge and Smith, where their drives ended up.
Wow.
See if she can take advantage of that great length. I mean, she only has 110 in.
Is it a level lie or is it a little bit downhill lie there, Kay?
Downhill lie.
It's not going to hurt to flight this, though. Just play it along that downhill lie. The greens are receptive enough. That's not going to be a problem.
Got 4 birdie putts upcoming and a pitch from just short of the green. You sort of thought it's going to take a 3 to get it done. There'll be some opportunities for these 5 women as we take a look at 6 over. That was the number that safely moved you on. And how about Kira Riha-Jarvi? Earlier today at the par 5 18th, the 23-year-old from Finland, this for birdie to get in at 6 over.
And there is a large leaderboard if the players wanted to know just off the green. And
how about that?
I think her caddy knew. I'm not sure if she was completely aware yet that that secured her tee time.
5th-year senior at the University of Tampa Division II program as we go back to 10. There'll be 4 putts upcoming, Kay, but Lauren Hartledge, a little work to do from just short and left of this hole location.
And it's very hard to hide your nerves with a. And this isn't the easiest because she's well off the surface of the green, so she's got to get a little loft to the shot. Either that or try to power it through the Bermuda rough.
Well, she showed a lot of heart in her round today. She was 5 over in her first 6 holes. Kind of leveled it out, steadied it out. Like I said, birdied her final hole to get into this playoff. She's going to need that kind of same scrappy attitude on this up and down.
Really well judged.
It is a nervy shot. I don't know if I would have been brave enough to take wedge off of that damp ground, but well played.
It's such that fine balance of, there's 4 birdie putts in that 15 to 20 foot range, and likely you might need to make a 3 to keep playing, but then you say, well, let's make sure I get a 4 as well, right, just in case. How did you approach it in a playoff situation, 4 for 1, 5 for 1, where you almost have to go out and get it?
And I think at a certain point, while you can see what everybody else is doing, you certainly need to focus on what you can control, what you can do. On this particular hole, you're going to have a short iron in your hand. As long as you're putting the ball in the fairway off the tee, you're going to give yourself a good birdie look. So in this situation, it should have felt like this was the time to be aggressive. I can't wait for players to make mistakes when there's only 1 for 5. Or 5 for 1, excuse me.
The critical 1 number.
Exactly.
There's only 1 spot available for Saturday's final round. So Kate Smith from Nebraska, this for birdie.
Maya Stark is going to get an excellent read. She already moved her ball mark over to get it out of Kate Smith's way. This putt is gently downhill.
She's not far away to take a look at that once Kate Smith.
She's very interested.
Gets it going.
Playing for it to go to the right, and it didn't move much.
Came into this week with a very carefree and appreciative attitude. She said she had a lot of emotions, crying out of nerves, excitement, joy. It has been a joy to watch Kate Smith and hear her speak from the past couple of days.
It really has. This event has the opportunity to introduce us to so many of these young women that compete, and she certainly had the correct attitude that we saw yesterday, and just appreciation for being here in the moment and the situation.
Looks like Avery might be up next.
Talking things over a little bit with her dad, Andre.
Even though she's not on the same line, okay, you still get the opportunity for a speed read as well. If you're paying attention to what the other players, around you are doing, you get that sense. It's late in the day. How much has the grass grown? Is it still rolling the same way and as smoothly as when she played it earlier in the day? You can take all that information in.
And she definitely knows now that it does not break very much, if at all.
Smooth roll.
So now we're down to just 2 birdie opportunities remaining. We thought it would take a 3 here. As Yu Sung Ho getting ready to go next. We mentioned she missed the cut in this tournament 2 years ago. A heartbreaking finish on the 18th hole in 2019 to miss out on this playoff. What an opportunity for redemption it might be for Yu Sung Ho, but she'll have to wait because it is Maya Stark up next.
And Maya Stark has good recent memories in that she birdied the 18th hole, which ultimately has gotten her into this position. She's a strong, aggressive, fiery player. And I can just tell that she wants to make this more than anything.
There's definitely an intensity in how she plays.
Getting in there quickly, like she's got a very direct idea of the line and the speed. There you go, Maya Stark. What a putt.
And again, considering her history on this hole, she was the only player in this playoff that was 2 over her first 2 rounds, and to come out and birdie it, what a statement.
Kay, you called it. Paige, you were right on it as well. She had the line. She went in with sort of a, not a wishful, hopeful, like, I've got this, and it paid off. So that eliminates Avery, Hartledge, and Smith. In with birdie. Now Yu Sung Ho has a chance for a birdie of her own to extend the playoff. If not, it ends right here at the 10th green. Yu Sung Ho to keep it going. Paige, you were right. It would take a birdie. There was just one. Got a tee time at Augusta National on Saturday.
And just such an accomplishment. When you stand up there, you hit the shots that you know you need to hit. You get the birdie you know you need. That's a huge confidence builder and quite the accomplishment to come out of this playoff on the first hole.
And she stepped up in big moments before the end of last year, the U.S. Women's Open. She finished tied for 13th. Not afraid to make a few big putts along the way.
A big stage. It appears that she likes to shine on.
Yeah, I know you.
To learn more about the competitors and see the latest championship updates, visit anwagolf.com and follow at @AnwagGolf on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And tune in Saturday at noon Eastern Time on NBC for coverage of the Augusta National Women's Amateur. And while we have a moment, let's go down to Kate Cockrell.
Congratulations, Maya Stark. One and done, a big birdie, and it gets you into Augusta to play Augusta National on Saturday. What was your mindset coming into this first playoff hole?
I think I was just very excited. I mean, I love when my pulse gets higher, and it's not my favorite hole. I made bogey both days, but I felt like it's time for some revenge.
I could almost feel that you were just make that putt and nothing else was going to happen.
Yeah. I mean, I felt like I had it, so I just wanted to put a good pace on it, and I felt like I hit a really good putt, so I was very happy with that.
Well, you sure did. Congratulations, and we'll look forward to watching you on Saturday.
Thank you.
What a finish for Maya Stark. A final playoff hole birdie gets her that final tee time at Augusta National on Saturday. You can see that coverage noon Eastern, NBC Sports, for the Augusta National Women's Amateur.
Han hade fullt på 18 innan.